What up, peeps? It's your girl, Dash. Come back to Front Takes. Well, you guys, it's almost the end of the year, and there was no way I was going to forget to try to put up a top 10 films of 2019. Oh my goodness, it was a lot of stuff that came out this year. I will say this, since it is 10, it was very, at times, seemed kind of hard to figure out what 10, but the ones that I chose are really the ones that I really, truly enjoyed so much so that they are in the list for a reason, and I'm quite happy with the ones that I chose. There are some movies that were not made to cut because I will be honest with you, I don't have all the time in the world to watch so many movies all the time. I definitely am very, query about picking and choosing what I go and see. Some things, I will not be doing a notable mention this time around. I did that on the last one, but this one I'm just going to keep straight to the 10 and leave it at that. And like I said, these are my favorites, and these are very significant to me. Some of them I might get into more detail than others, but these are the ones that definitely stick out to me. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into it. So number 10 is Alita Battle Angel. Now, there was no way I was not going to put her on here. I think if you all have followed me long enough, I was beyond hype for Alita Battle Angel back a year ago. We were supposed to have gotten it last year, then they kept moving it, and then we finally got it this year, early in the year, and it was a great movie. It was everything it lived up to be. When I saw the first initial trailer, because I think we initially got, I want to say at least two trailers, and I think every now and then they would do a TV spot. I didn't really want to watch the TV spots because I didn't want to see a lot of the action. Didn't want them showing even a couple seconds of the action. I wanted to see it in the theater and enjoy it. And I'm glad I am one of the ones who do not like a lot of TV spots. I don't particularly care for them. Being that this is directed by Robert Rodriguez, it is starring Rosa Salazar. Love me some Rosa. She did an amazing job of playing Alita. Furthermore, I'm kind of biased because she's her hometown girl. She's from Maryland, Greenbelt, Maryland. So yay for her. Also, there are other cast members, Christoph Waltz, excuse me. We have Mahershala Ali, Jennifer Connelly, Edward Norton, Kian Johnson, just to name a few. This was a great cast. This was a well orchestrated movie. Of course, Alita, being in a scrap metal area of Iron City, Christoph Waltz's character finding her, his name is Ito, and basically, trying to revive her. She awakens, with no memory of, her past, not knowing what she is, and slowly trying to build up a new life. And of course, trying to keep her shielded and protected from, these, individuals and people out there who could take, advantage of her. And with that, she comes into her own. Like I said, the action scenes were phenomenal. I'm like everybody else who's seen it, and majority of people loved it. I want a sequel, and I'm hoping that James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez really do decide to make another one. I know that Cameron is working on the Avatar sequels with S. So we'll have to see. I'm gonna keep my tabs on this one because I really hope they do it, because there's really truly so much more story they can do for her to keep growing the overall story, her origin. I want to see more, and I feel like they were just hitting it just the tip of the iceberg with her character. So I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed that we do get that. But yes, that's number 10. So now, guys, number 9. Number 9 is considered Luce. Now, a lot of people probably did not see this movie. It's considered more of an independent film, but for me, this was a very, very good movie. It's directed by Julius Ona. This was casted with Octavia Spencer, Naomi Watts, Tim Roth, and then Calvin Harrison Jr. And the reason it is on this, not for them, no offense to them, but Calvin is the reason he is on my list. That brother is beyond in this movie. Now, it's basically around a boy who's adopted by the characters played by Naomi and Tim. And, of course, his name is not familiar to them, so they decide to rename him, and they name him Luce, which is considered light. And a situation happens where he's at school, and of course, Octavia Spencer's character is the teacher. She actually has to meet up with one of the parents, which is Naomi's character, and just discuss with him about an essay he wrote, which basically is an essay in regards to certain violence, thinking violence as considered some sort of a cleansing. And that's when certain things, a ripple effect starts to happen in regards to this teacher parent, conference. And that's when things start to happen. Now, I would tell you this, from Calvin Harrison Jr., he's definitely on my radar from seeing this movie. I saw another movie he did. I cannot remember the name of it. My mind just went completely, like, he did a horror movie a couple years back. It Comes at Night, excuse me. Brain's working. And it was so good that he certain parts of it he stole the show. So I started to kind of keep up with his work. So when this came out, I had to see it, and I'm glad I did a service to myself for seeing him in this movie. His character in this one was very calculating, very, diabolical at times, certain things he's doing, behind, the scenes that nobody's really noticing what he's doing, and, trying to make the teacher, appear to be, wrong about certain things, might could be losing whatever, certain things, having certain individuals, in on, his overall, way of doing things, his treachery. And then the parent eventually realizing they don't really know their kid like they think they do, and but then in the end sides with the child. So it was shocking to me. And then when you see the ending, I'm not going to try to give too much away because there was a lot of stuff that did happen in this movie that literally had my mind blown. But just the way it ends, you're thinking that he would feel a certain way about how things end up turning out. But then when you see how he carries himself in that last minute of the movie, not so much. So, but yes, you guys, please, if you all do get a chance, check out Luce. That was a phenomenal movie. I enjoyed that one immensely. And like I stated, Calvin Harrison, he actually was in another movie. I wasn't going to do a notable mention, but for him, I will. He was in a movie called Waves with Sterling K. Brown, which he did a fantastic job in that as well. That was definitely a nice cast too. His parents, Sterling K. Brown playing the father, definitely a coming of age type of movie as well because he has a sister. You kind of see it from the lens of the children being raised, to be their best, and then being treated the way they are by said the father, and seeing how it, affects the son. And then after certain things happen, a chain reaction, then you see it from the eyes of the daughter. So if you get a chance, Luce and Waves, Calvin Harrison Jr., he's phenomenal. I think I can't say enough about him in that. So moving from that, now number 8 is John Wick 3 Parabellum. There was no way. I love me some John Wick. I love me some Keanu Reeves. I love me some action. Love me some bloodshed. I mean, what is there more to say? Of course, the high table wants him. He's trying to get passage. We do get to see the star-studded cast. We have Halle Berry. We have Angelica Houston. We have oh gosh, just really just the name, and then Mark Dacascos. I was very happy to know he was in this movie, and it's just from beginning and him trying to be ahead, trying to get to where he needs to so he can stay alive. And like I said, the action just on a whole nother level, on par. Awesome, awesome action in this movie. This came out around my birthday month, so I was here for it. And I trust me, it was a gift to me, and it was everything I would want and then some. Let's just say that, of course, this one did very well at the box office as well. So we already know he's going to be working on John Wick 4. I was already talking about in my movie news how he's going to be doing this one, also working on the Matrix 4. So he's going to be a busy man. So I'm looking forward to seeing, any people from the original cast coming back again for the 4th installment. And then also seeing, hopefully they could probably bring back Halle Berry's character. Let me tell you about Halle Berry. The fact that she trains similar to how Keanu Reeves does, learning, how to, work the gun, working, with, her dogs. Just she just knocked it right out of the park with her character. A lot of people thought it would be just, really small a little bit. Oh no. There's a particular scene in the movie where she, gives as well as they give it to her, and she could hold her on, and I was here for it. She did a fantastic job, and I just love seeing Angelica Houston again. I don't see her in a lot of stuff, so just seeing her pop up, that was actually nice. So, but yes, this was a great movie seeing Mark Dacascos again, and seeing him in anything as of lately. So just knowing that he's, out doing other things. And yeah, I think a Netflix movie, TV series that came out, I can't remember the name, but yes, he's definitely out there again. I used to follow his stuff, faithfully, so it's just nice to see that familiar face. So, but yes, you guys, John Wick 3, definitely on the list. I had to put this on. There was no way. So that's number 8. And number 7 is Queen and Slim. I'm going to tell you, this movie was definitely thought-provoking. The overall being of the movie, of course, two people who, meet like a blind date of sorts, whichever you see from the trailer. And just basically, she says, these characters are played by, Daniel Kalula and Jodie Turner Smith, and they're just having a evening, just talking. And she's telling him about her being an attorney, him talking about working out, how she all of a sudden decided to reach out, whatever, and they're just enjoying a quiet night. He's trying to take her home. They get pulled over, and then they end up in a situation where not of their making, but it kind of escalates, and then they have to kind of protect themselves. And it just kind of starts off a ripple effect of certain many things where basically, as people want to call it, the so-called Blondie and Clyde type of thing. Now, this is directed by Melina Masukas and definitely written by Lena Waithe. And I just was entranced watching this movie. It was done perfectly, just shot beautifully. The chemistry between Daniel and Jodie, just off the charts. I'm a fan of Daniel anyway. I can't say enough about him. I was not familiar with his work on Black Mirror. When I first saw him was when he did the movie Get Out, and that's when he was on my radar from there on out. And of course, he's been in other things, of course, Black Panther, Widow. So he's just, carving himself out, putting out this good work. Jodie, she's definitely on my radar as well. And another person who's hometown Maryland, it just is amazing to me when I finally look up some of these people and kind of want to do a little research to know a little bit more understanding of them, and just seeing that she is working herself into definitely being well known. She actually was on a sci-fi show called Night Flyers, so she's building up her work. And this right here, I feel like is definitely going to set the tone, and hopefully she'll start getting more work, and I will keep tabs on her. But this was a nice bringing together this couple with the different type of personalities, the way she was very tough exteriored, hard shelled, whatever, being that she dealt with certain things in her past, and it kind of comes to the forefront, in a couple of different discussions. Secondly, with, Daniel Kaluuya being a little more slightly free spirit and all that, but then they have to work together, to deal with the situation, how to deal with it, how to get away, try to be, 10 steps ahead of them, the authorities to get away, dealing with certain different characters in his. We get to see Bakeem, Woodbine is in this. We see Flea, we see Chloe Sevigny in this, just to name a few. It was a great star-studded cast. And then, of course, just overall seeing how things end up turning out. When I give it away, because I don't know how many of you all have not seen it yet, but I highly recommend seeing this movie. I definitely plan to buy this on DVD. It cannot come out fast enough. And I just feel like the overall subject line of this does hit close to home in certain aspects of it, and it's not that far-fetched. Now, I can say certain parts of it, even the way it ended, not to say it would end the way it did, but I wouldn't be surprised. But that movie just, I literally, when I left out of the theater that day, I will never forget, I sat in the car and it was just like mind blown. And the tears, flowed in the theater. And just remembering certain scenes, and the dialogue between the two of them, towards the ending, just, oh my goodness, it was just so, so good. I can't say it enough. So I just had to put this one on the list. So that is number 7. Number 6 is Dr. Sleep. Now, I'm a fan of anything that pertains to Stephen King. Of course, The Shining. You remember where Jack Nicholson, just an actor on a whole nother level I love. So to know that we were finally going to get, a continuation of the story from the son's point of view, Danny, it was just refreshing. Of course, it stars Ewan McGregor. It's directed by Mike Flanagan. It also stars Rebecca Ferguson. And let me note the young girl in this, who definitely is a scene stealer at times. Her name is Kylie Curran. This, of course, shows the struggling of Danny, dealing with the after effects of what happened to him. Of course, over time, we do see scenes of him as a young boy, and we see him with his mother, Wendy. So, yes, we get a little bit of that. And just seeing how, he keeps traveling place to place that he cannot seem to stay somewhere, but then he finally finds a place where he's welcomed, and he kind of, gets himself together and all that is working. But then, of course, certain things from his past starts to come, and he ends up, coming to contact with a young girl, played by Kylie. Or having, this, the abilities, to, see things, the visions, the powers, whatever. The shining of sorts, as they call it. And it was just magnificent. Rebecca Ferguson playing Rose the Hat. She did a phenomenal job in this movie. I am a fan of Rebecca Ferguson. I've been following her really since the first time I really saw her was when she did one of the Mission Impossible movies. But ever since then, I've definitely been trying to keep up with any other work she does. This right here, they couldn't have picked a better person to play this character, her to bring it alive. And seeing her banter with, the character played by Kylie, with the amount of skill set, the abilities they both have, and how she thought she has a one up on the girl, but then the girl turns around and has a one up on her, not realizing that she's very powerful. That was good scenes to see. And of course, Ewan, trying to keep her shielded, from this. If they know what you can do, they'll come for you and things of that nature. There's one scene that's very graphic, with a particular character in this movie. I won't say what it is because some of you all haven't seen it. I would highly recommend it. But it is very graphic and it was shocking to me. But in the end, it was done, how it needed to be. I did not read the book. I have a friend at work who did read the book. She's like, I really don't need to see it. I read the book and I love the book. But I said she wants to see it because she's been hearing that it was really good. So I really hope she does so I can get her. Just want to see what her comparison is from this. But yes, this was done well. This was so good. It was to the point where I wanted to see it the following weekend, but then other things came up and I was just mad at overall, like, something's interrupting me going to see a movie again, because as you all know, every now and then I can see movies multiple times, sometimes 3 or 4 times. So, but yes, I'm just happy I did get a chance to see it before they yanked it out, because this came out during, a lot of the holiday time, whatever. Some things were not staying in long enough. So it's like, if you don't see the first 2 or 3 weekends out, you're short. So it'll be out very soon. I will be grabbing this one to add to the collection. So with that said, this one's my number 6. So number 5 is Us, Jordan Peele. What else can I say? I've been a fan of when he was doing Key and Peele. I love the different types, of storytelling he did on there. Of course, he has a love of horror. Of course, we can get the funny, but I would love when he would mix up some of his skits with that. And then, of course, when he comes out with his first directorial debut movie, Get Out. Let me tell you how much I love me some Jordan Peele. I love Get Out so much, starring Daniel Kaluuya, that I saw that baby 4 times. I saw that the first weekend it came out, both Saturday and Sunday. I went and saw it again on the Tuesday, and then I went and saw it again on the following Saturday. I saw it in less than 2 weeks, 4 times. And it was worth every penny every time I went. I just loved the movie. I was literally in awe of that movie. Waiting for his, follow-up. I'm not going to put any pressure because I'm not expecting it to be the same type of movie. Of course, feeling it'd be something more like a, suspense, maybe a thriller, horror, whatever, and all that. That's where I was leaning. But you're going to get a type of different storyline, and that we did. This, of course, starring Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Elizabeth Moss, and Lupita Nyong'o brought it. This, her place, of course, named Adelaide. She and her family go, on vacation, and they go back to the place of which she dealt with a traumatic experience. And you see, her, just enjoying her time with her family. But of course, situation happens where, they come across, what looks like to be, 4 individuals, a family, whatever, and come to find out that once they are basically, literally, cornered, and they're at their, being, they basically have taken the mask off, and you see that they actually are them. And it's just literally, mind was blown. When I was in the theater, we were just like, what in the world is really happening? Yeah, we saw the trailer, but just seeing and then hearing, Red speak. Of course, her playing that character, and she did it so well that it was so creepy. I loved everything about this one. I loved the, trying to, the chase, them getting away, and then the family trying to, keep up with them. Then, of course, Elizabeth Moss's character and her family, you see them, unbeknownst to them what's really going on, them coming into contact, with their doppelgangers. And it was just, craziness ensuing, but it was really good. And of course, you see a scene where, of course, they end up taking her son, and Allie has to, of course, step up. And that's when you see the confrontation of somewhat of a discussion. And that's when you get the reveal. And it was a good reveal. I know a couple of my family members and some friends was like, trying to understand what was going on. I knew exactly what was happening. Once she said it, and once they showed the flashbacks, it became very clear what was happening in that movie. And I thought that was really done. Now, granted, I will say this, and I know some other individuals stated, I've watched a couple other reviews, the way it was left at the end leaves an open interpretation that he could have done, if he wanted to continue the story, he could. If he wanted to, honestly, me personally, I could see, there could be other things, he can engross with another family, possibly, but you never know. So I'm gonna put it like this: if they don't, it's fine. I can deal with the one movie. It was just done so well. As soon as it came out on DVD, I bought the thing. So it's just sitting right up there in the bedroom, and I watched it recently. So yes, Lupita she did the daggone thing. It was phenomenal. I can't see how creepy. The creepy factor, Winston Duke, just killing me with some of his, comedic timing, wearing a Howard, should go HU. Just yes, I was here for it. So yes, I had to put this on list. It had to be within this top 10. So with that said, that's number 5. My number 4 is Endgame. There was no way I was not going to put this on here. I don't read the comic books, but I've been watching these movies ever since the first Iron Man came out, and I've been a consistent lover of Marvel. I will say this, it all coming to a conclusion. Let's just say that I got my action, I got my funny, I got my tears. It was a lot to take in. This movie is damn near 3 hours. It was just a lot going on in this movie, and I literally was drained by the end of the movie, with so much emotions. I mean, them having to finally deal with the situation of the snap, dealing with losing, some of their fellow, family and friends, not realizing what's going on. Then, of course, our buddy Tony's in, up in the universe, whatever, trying to send a signal to, his wife, and then, of course we see Captain Marvel come, and then that's when we start to figure out how they're going to work on dealing with the situation to, redo what Thanos has done. The scene of them, of course, the battle scene, just, oh my God, I just cannot say how good and epic the battle scene was. And then, of course, the conclusion to that battle scene. The scene with Tony Stark literally had me straight in tears. The scene with Scarlett Johansson, oh, I was a mess because I truly did not see that coming. A lot of us definitely couldn't see the one with Tony. I just kept thinking, who? And then just the thought of it, and I'm glad that it didn't get leaked out because that would have just pissed me off if somebody had actually told, who ends up dying. And I know some people wanted to. It's just like, please. But in the end, I was able to avoid a lot of social media close to the movie coming out so I could see everything revealed during the movie. Of course, with, Captain America going back into, time, whatever, with Tony and Tony seeing his father, whatever, having a conversation with him about, being understand with his son, then, of course, Yvette, Nicole, Brazel, she's in the movie catching Captain America, like he's not a real person. Who is this person? That was funny because I know she has banter with him on Twitter, Chris Evans. Also, just seeing, Chris Evans, fighting himself and they're talking about that is America's ass. It was funny. I just loved it. I just love that we had definitely all the good banter on top of the drama and action, and of course, a serious tone. I just can't say enough about the movie. I thought it was well done. I know we're finished with that particular phase. Now we're moving into the next phase. Oh my goodness. And then all these different characters we want to get to finally see coming into Marvel. And then some of these particular characters are branching out to, I know, TV shows coming out next year. So I'm looking forward to, of course, continue watching Marvel. They're putting out great work. I see why Kevin Feige got promotion. Literally, I just talked to a friend about this. We were saying, you had to just wonder how they all sat there and sat in like a conference room or a boardroom and strategically placed out how they wanted to do this in a certain amount of time, how many movies, for every year, whatever, and all that, and slowly just build from there. It's just literally like the mastermind of, what you would want to put out if you were part of a movie production company to this magnitude. But yes, kudos to them. They did an epic job with this movie. I can't say it enough. It's not my number 1, but it's on the list and it's high up on the list. So if I had any lower, I'd be like, why isn't that up higher? It's on the list and it's in a nice little cushion spot. So yes, moving on. Number 3, you guys, is Midsommar. That movie, mind blown. I was a little in shock. It was disturbing. This was one of the ones directed by Ari Aster. I am now adverse to Ari Aster's work, and I will continue to be moving forward. I saw his movie Hereditary. That's kind of what started me on this path of, I'm going to keep my eyes on his next, work, and that's when I saw the movie with Toni Collette and just literally mouth dropped. The trailer alone. The trailer for Midsommar was more like a teaser. It didn't really give anything away. Clearly, it waited till the movie came out, and that's when my mind literally was gone. And all I can say is kudos to him, because I know a lot of people, like, they don't want to understand it. I remember seeing some people's reviews, dog and whatever. I always say this with movies. I love a movie that can engulf me so much to the point where I have really no words. It's like you're trying to grapple with what to say because you're seeing a lot of this going on and you understand what's really going on, whatever. You just never think they could put it in this type of form to really showcase it in a movie this way. And literally, I was perplexed. Florence Pugh did a phenomenal job in this movie, dealing with her own traumatic situation with her, sister and her parents, and then of course her boyfriend having this little, issues where, arguments, whatever. Then of course they're planning to go on this trip, that a friend wants to, invite them to, dealing with these, rituals of sorts, and then seeing certain things where you're being drugged before you go, like I said in my review, it's just like certain things you think would click, like, nah, I don't know if I want to do this. Of course, midnight sun at 9 o'clock is still daylight and it's after 9. You're like, okay, the sun isn't going down. What's happening? Then certain things happening within, the area you're in, visiting, you're seeing certain things, certain things to be put in your drink, to try to, woo you by certain females, then, certain, animals being cut up, certain people being sacrificed, jumping off cliffs, just, oh my goodness, it was just so much going on. My mind was literally on overdrive. And when I came out the theater, I was just like, some people, I heard a man, he was just like, what did I just watch? And sometimes it's nothing wrong with that. And that's why I was like, okay, that's what I'm talking about. This is nothing what's considered, the norm of, understanding, first, second, and third ending of a movie, whatever, where everything's just straight out, cut and dry, where you understand what's happening, whatever. I want certain things to make me think. And let's just say that this one did it. And secondly, that guy who claimed to be their friend, he wasn't no friend. That was straight setup. He straight set up all those guys and brought them down to use as a part of the ritual, and they all got killed. It's just like this. The only person standing was Florence's character, and let's just say that in the end, she didn't like, what was happening, whatever. But when you see the facial expression of hers at the end, while they're doting over her, you can see that it finally clicked, and she was, now mixed amongst her new family, her new people. So, but yes, awesome movie. I literally can't say it enough how much I enjoyed that movie. Some people scratch your head, you're not used to it, but when you're a movie person or movie, jump out there, branch out a little bit. So not everything needs to be so simple, whatever, and all that. Try to, kind of see a little difference in the movies, and this type of movie did that, and I'm kind of glad for that. So down to my last two, you guys. Number two, and I kind of toggled with this between the two of these particular movies, but I know how I feel, so I'm going to stick to what I'm going to go. So number two is Parasite. I went to see this movie. When I saw the trailer, I said, something's making me have to go see this movie. So I went down to my local place where I knew it would be, because this is not shown, because this is considered a foreign language film. This is by the director Bong Joon-ho. Awesome director, awesome director. Certain things from I have yet to see, and I'm going to have to rectify that very quickly. But I saw, of course, Snowpiercer. That's an awesome movie, and I know about the movie The Host, which I truly need to see. Shame on me, I've not seen that movie, but okay, So, but I'm gonna fix that. Trust me when I tell you guys. This movie delves in regards to class. When you have different types of families dealing with certain class of lifestyle of living. You see one that, of course, is upper class, and you have one that's kind of living a little bit considered lower class. And the higher class is considered the Park family, and then the lower class is considered the Kim family. And let me tell you, the matriarch of the family is a very well-known actor. His name, and I'm going to get these names correctly because I don't want to have any disrespect to the names. It is Kang Ho-sung, who plays the dad. I would say Mr. Kim. He was exquisite. I will tell you, definitely a scene stealer. The daughter who's in this movie plays, her name they call her by is Jennifer. Her name is Park Sodam. I love me some of her in this movie. Just seeing how the whole scenario of the story is this. The son, he basically has a friend who's about to go abroad to study, and he's tutoring a young girl at this house. And he's like, you should do whatever. I don't trust other guys, whatever. They'll try to get with her, whatever. When I get back, I'm gonna, propose, whatever, and all that. So he had it already planned out how he wanted it. So needless to say, he's like, I can't do this, whatever. He's like, get your sister. She knows a couple of things. She can fix it. So she, of course, doubles with his, so-called, degree, whatever, the proper clientele information he needs to get in there, whatever. And being that he's referred, and since he was referred by the tutor, whatever, the woman is inclined, which is Miss Park, decides to see him. And of course, he knows the exact spin to say. And that's when he meets her. He puts on a show a certain way about her pulse, acting a certain way. She doesn't want to answer, to go to the next question, whatever. And the mother's just all intrigued, like, oh my goodness, oh my God. Okay, when can you start? I'll pay you this. Here's the money for today. So then all of a sudden, that's when he comes back, decides to tell his sister, we need to get you in there. They have a son. He has art. We'll find a way. And there's a scene with the brother and sister where they're standing outside of house before they knock on the door, and they're going through the full motions of what to call this. I'm the cousin. I went to the school. This is all in a particular chant of a song, and it was such a very eerie part because it's almost like this is something they have done before. Certain little things to kind of get over, whatever, to get around, like a little hustling of sorts, whichever. But this is to a whole nother level, and I literally was entranced with how everything flowed. The son's in there, the daughter's in there, the father's comes in, and then the mother's last. And then of course you have a woman who's kind of like the overseer besides Miss Park. She kind of, taking care of, the groceries, getting this. And of course Jennifer's character wants to find a way to get her out because she's been there. She was with the original family of the house before the Parks took it. So that's how they know that she was referred and she feels comfortable with her. And they have to do certain sinister things, whichever. So you want to feel like, okay, this family's bad. But then when you see other aspects of the family, what they're going through and certain things that are discussed, you slowly try to crack the shell, but not so much because you see in the end, you understand what they're doing. And it's like you can't really feel sorry for you. You're infiltrating this family. You're based around lies. They're opening up their home. The wife, Miss Park, is kind of at times naive. The husband, he's a tech guy. He's kind of doing this little thing. He's kind of going along with it. As long as the wife's doing this, whatever and all. She's not a real cook. Let's bring in this woman who's overseer, the new overseer, which is the mom, Mother Kim, comes in here doing this, whatever. And then certain things start to happen where the original person who's like the caretaker comes back, and that's when certain things are revealed. I'm not going to give it away. Honestly, you guys, you all need to see it because there's so much stuff I'm not telling you that happens that is revealed, and it's literally shocking that happens throughout this movie, and it opens up a whole bunch of other things that happen with the family, the Kims. And then just, one other thing I will say this is that there was one scene where they're discussing a scent or a smell that they feel that they constantly smell, and it could be coming from the Kim family and the father, the Park, Mr. Park. He makes his comment, whatever, and unbeknownst to him, some of the families up under, the dinette table where they don't realize this, whatever. They're not supposed to be there. The only person supposed to be there is the caretaker. The kids are supposed to be home, whatever, because technically they don't know that that's the whole family, that these are all other ones doing tutoring, this. And they hear the story of the smell. He has a certain scent, whatever, and all that. And there's another scene where he ends up getting a whiff of Mr. Park, and it sets off a certain situation with Mr. Kim that definitely takes on a whole other, life of its own and causes, a straight ripple effect with the family. This movie, I literally was just, this was an excellent movie. I can't say it enough how much I enjoyed that movie. And I just can't say enough about the director. I'm happy they are nominated for Best Foreign Film. I think it's for the Golden Globes, and I really hope they win. There's some other things that are out, and my apologies to them, but this one right here, I feel it should get the award, and I hope and pray they are nominated for an Oscar because I think it's only fitting. He should be just getting those awards across the board because it was phenomenal. And I'm not the only one. I've talked to a couple other people online who've seen the movie, and we're all in agreement about that. So yes, I just can't say enough about that. Like I said, it was tight to make the number one, but the one that I made number one, I feel definitely should be number one. Now we are there. My number one movie is Joker. I talked about it off and on for almost a full damn year. It was no way it was not going to be on my list. I love me some Joker. This movie from the beginning, like I've said it over and over again, when I heard that Todd Phillips was making this movie with the cast he had. He has, Joaquin Phoenix, Robert De Niro, Francis Conroy, Zazie Beetz, Brian Tyree Henry, just to name a few. And that was all I needed when I heard about this casting. This, of course, produced by Martin Scorsese. Really, just enough. And then getting a better understanding of an origin of Arthur Fleck, seeing all the things that Arthur is dealing with, of course, with his mother, dealing with, just want to be a clown to make people laugh, whatever, dealing with his disorder. When he gets anxious, anxiety, whatever, he has a tendency to laugh, having to carry a card, so people can understand why he is the way he is and stop, making him feel, he, is weird or whichever, some people not respecting him just wanting the chance, to prove that he's, he could be funny, he could be a comedian, seeing the scenes where he's, offered to come on, the show, with the host, Robert De Niro's character. And just seeing him going through the motions of certain things, certain traumatic situations that happen, that basically makes him shift. And you can see how it slowly starts to happen, and certain things being revealed, that his mother kept from him, he didn't know, or he thought he knew. And then just seeing certain things with him happening with, him and the character played by Zazie Beetz, you're not sure if this is true, is this really happening? Just my mind was just totally freaking blown. Try my best not to cuss. So I can't say enough. Joaquin, he embodied this role. Now I will say this, I know a lot of people, because they're like, oh, once this came out, this big thing came up where, oh, is he now going to be considered, the best Joker? I'm like this. I know some people, they say with Heath Ledger, his Joker was already established. We're getting to see him already full blown, in his particular character in The Dark Knight, and that is true. Whatever. Heath Ledger is a whole other level, and I'm, respectful to that, whichever. I personally like seeing this particular one because I want to see how it all begins. Now, I know that Todd did make a comment that he would like to consider doing a conclusion to this. That would be nice. Now, I'm hoping, and I think what King kind of threw out there, he might be possibly down to do that. If that's the case, that would be lovely. It's just a matter of when, depending on scheduling conflicts, whichever. I don't know what Joaquin is working on. I'm not sure what Todd Field is working on next, whatever. But if they can come back maybe in a couple of years, maybe closer to the Batman movie, and once that one comes out, then they try to do it. Because I know some people were like, once they do the standalone of the Batman, they consider doing that. That would be awesome. I am totally here for that. So, but yes, the movie, and then the scene of him, getting in the car accident, getting out, and then all just chatting around him. Before he turns around, he has blood on his mouth, whatever. He just makes the smile. I was just like, oh my God, I could hear people in the theater. We were just like, wow, and then I got claps at the end. It was phenomenal. I just cannot say enough how much I love this freaking movie. I don't think it's out on DVD yet. I think they said it's coming out soon, sometime, if not next month, the month after. I think it's February. I'm keeping tabs because this is definitely in the collection. Definitely going in the collection. The day it comes out, I'm getting it. So I just can't say enough about this movie and how much I enjoyed Joaquin's performance. I mean, just it's so many scenes I loved. I love the scene between him and Robert De Niro when he's on his show, when he first comes out and he does his dance. Of course, the dance before he gets there, of course, that's an epic scene its own. And then, the buildup of what was coming. We could see it as they kept pacing, each faces, back and forth, and then when it just happened. And then the music that they had within, the movie, just, I love the era they used, looked all very, broad, circuit era, 70s, like, 70s, 80s type of look, just, it was just a great movie. I just loved everything about that. I can't say it enough. So, but yes, you guys, that is my number one movie, and that is my top 10. I am happy with my list. I know some of them probably wish there was some other movies on there, but honestly, out of all the movies, these are the ones definitely that stuck out to me. And these are some of the movies I actually saw more than once, So when I do that, that lets you know that I really, really enjoyed myself enough so that I will definitely pay multiple times, sometimes 3 and 4 times to see a movie. So, and then when it resonates where I keep thinking about it and talking about it and telling friends and family, yes, I feel definitely good with my actual list. And I'm hoping some of these you all have not seen that you all will check out. Like I said, please do. If you have seen them, comment below. Let me know what you all think. As a matter of fact, when you comment below, tell me what your list is. Even if you want to give me your top 5 or your top 10, I would love to see what you all love throughout the year. And with that said, you guys, I will see you guys on the next video. You guys take care.